Hey everybody, it's Brenda and Shay from Wedding Business TV, and we are back to talk a little bit more about one of the factors that we talked about in a previous episode. Shay had talked before about Google's rank brain, and I know that's a new term for a lot of people. It's actually a new term for me. And the factor that, or the idea that rank brain is based on is just about your user behavior. So the behavior of the folks that are coming to your website. So Shay's going to talk a little bit more about what user behavior is and why it's important. Have
Well,
at it.
okay. The user behavior is basically the next level of SEO.
Yeah.
It's I think Google wants to get away from everybody trying to manipulate things on their site to strictly go into what the users are doing. Now, you're always going to have SEO. You're never going to get rid of it. You have to at least do the basics.
But I guess instead of focusing on how can we cheat the system, let's just focus on
Yes,
winning
that's
and
it.
doing it properly.
This is going to help reduce the ability of people to game the system
Yeah.
with bad SEO
Right.
and stuff like that. But you're still going to need regular SEO to be found organically. And user behavior is not the top ranked signal yet when it comes to SEO, but it's the third most. I think this is the third most important one, pretty much. So, user behavior, what is user behavior? And that's basically how people interact when they're searching for whatever your product is, online, and then how they interact once they get on your website. And you're going to say, well, what
That,
defines good user behavior,
yeah, right.
right?
So that's all well and good, but what does that actually
Exactly.
mean in terms of what are they doing on my site?
All right, let's take it from the point of when somebody's making a search. So they go to Google and they type in, best wedding photographer in Chicago. Right from that point, the SEO that you've already built up is a factor because it's showing you organically. So let's say you show up. Let's say you show up in the third position. From here, user behavior starts with the click-through rate, and that's from the point when they click from the search engines to go to your website. And why did I say third position? Well, if you are ranked third, but maybe you have, and this is part of the click-through rate, which we discussed in a previous episode as well, is your page titles, the title tags that you have on the search results, your meta descriptions. If those things are compelling enough, even though you're ranked number three, it may be more compelling to and more relevant to what the
Right.
people are searching for. They may skip over one or two and click three.
Right.
Now, the good news about that is if that keeps happening, Google's
You're
going
going
to
to
take
go
into
up in the
account.
ratings.
They're going to start saying, well, this person is ranked number three, but obviously they have the better content or whatever everybody's looking for, and they're going to move you up.
Right.
Now, it's going to be harder to go from number three to number one than it is to go from maybe page three to the bottom of page one. So just so you know, obviously the closer you get to number one, the harder it is to keep moving up. So that's one. It's the click-through rate from when people are searching. The next one's going to be bounce rate. And I know we harp on bounce rate a lot. And what is bounce rate? And that's when somebody goes to your website and determines how long they stay and when they leave. Now, bounce rate, if somebody comes to your website and they click on another page and go to another page on your website, that's not considered a bounce. The bounce is when somebody clicks on it, goes to one page, whatever page they clicked on, and they look at that one page and they leave. Now, high bounce rates are not good. You want the lower bounce rate that you can have, but they can also determine how long they were on your website. So there's something called a short bounce and a long bounce. So a short bounce is, let's say your title and your meta description is exactly what the people are looking for, and they click on it. I'll say, so good. They skip positions one and two, went to number three. You're good on click-through rate. If they click on it and they go to it, but what they read on the search engine results does not reflect what's actually on the page, and they scan it and 5 or 10 seconds later they click and they go back and they look for something else, that's not good. That's when you can start dropping. That's when Google goes, well, you're number three. You're not providing the answers they're looking for. We're going to drop you. So, and then there's the long bounce. So let's say they click on it and they go and they're there for 2 minutes. Google's going to go, okay, they're reading, they're researching, they left, they found what they were looking for. So that's a long bounce. So they've been there longer,
Well,
and that. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I would think that the type of content they're looking for would affect that as well. Because if
It
I'm
does.
looking for information about a particular topic and I hit a blog post and I'm sitting there reading it, I may find what I need and then move on. But I found exactly what I wanted, and maybe I even bookmarked them.
There's a different level to the short bounce.
Oh,
Okay, you may be right,
all right.
and I was getting to that. Okay, let's say you're number three. They click on it, they go, and let's say it's a question that is very easily answered. Maybe one paragraph, two paragraphs. Maybe they're there for 30 seconds, and they click away. What they do next helps determine if it was a good click or not. And what I'm talking about is if they click away and go back to the search results and then do a totally different search for something else. Google looks at it as, okay, they were satisfied with the answers, they moved on.
Right.
But if they click back
And
and
go
they
to
start
other
scanning the page
listings.
and
Right.
click on another one, multiple ones, then they're saying, okay, they didn't find that what they were looking for.
Right. Oh my
So
gosh, it's mind-boggling to me that this is all being tracked. And at the same time, on one hand, I'm like, oh my God, everything I'm doing is being looked at, but it's helping me in the long run to be able to find the information I'm looking for more easily. So you have to be prepared to have your behavior monitored a little bit online in order for it to
yeah,
improve your own
yes,
research going forward.
exactly. Another thing
So,
you want to look at is your pages per session. And that basically
right.
tells Google, how far they went within your website. So, did they go to 2 pages, 3 pages, 4 pages, or did they just look at the one and leave? So that's one metric you can look at. The other one is frequency, and that's how often do these same visitors come back to your website. So if you are offering good content, let's say that somebody finds you on social media or through a search, and they come to your website, and they look through your website and they leave and they never come back. Well, it's not that great. But if
Yeah.
they leave and Google starts seeing that they're returning and reading other parts, your other blogs or whatever, then Google start looking at, okay, this person provides a lot of good content. They may be an authority for this topic that their website is about. So that's another thing that they look for. It's kind of a perceived value
Right.
of your website. How do you increase all of this user engagement? First, which we've discussed previously, is the content. Got to have the content, whether it's video, whether it's just writing a
Blogging.
blog or audio or an infographic or something like that. Have some good content. Create a good user experience once they get there. Make sure it's you have good navigation.
Yeah, make
The
sure that people
structure is set
know.
up.
Don't use cute little names that mean nothing to
No.
anybody else. Make it
Oh,
really
good point.
easy for people to find what they're looking
Good
for.
point. Another one is internal links. If you get them there, your whole purpose is to drive them further into
Yeah.
your website. It may be just to contact you, but maybe they have to look at a few pages before they contact you. So you want to make sure you have relevant links, internal links, which we've discussed in the past.
Calls to action.
Yeah, and calls to action. That's it. Get them if they, and don't just put the call. If you have a lot of content on a page, not everybody's going to scroll all the way to the
No, put it
bottom.
throughout.
Put it throughout. You can, depending on the length, you could put it at the very bottom and maybe one or two spots within it. Have a call to action to do something, and have the internal links going
Yeah.
someplace to supporting documents. So how do you measure this?
And we've talked about this.
My
We're
two favorite
broken
things:
record.
Google Analytics and
And
Search
Search
Console.
Console. Yeah.
You also have to do some keyword research to figure out, again, my gosh, what do people want to know when they come to my site? And you can do that through, keyword research and through your Search Console, because it'll tell you what people are searching for that you're showing up for. So,
I think maybe a future episode could be how to do keyword research.
yes. The other one is for user engagement, make sure it's mobile friendly.
Yes, please. It's funny how we now assume that goes without saying, but it doesn't
It,
yet.
it
Make
doesn't.
sure it's mobile friendly because
Yeah, because
otherwise,
that adds the
yeah,
user experience.
yeah,
If they're on their mobile and they go and they have to pinch and squeeze and whatever, and they can't, It's not a good user experience. So
Heaven
that's a,
forbid you have a Flash website.
yes. My wife experienced that today.
I'm
Somebody we
I'm amazed
know,
that it's still happening.
yeah. She went. It took forever to load. I think she finally just clicked away.
So don't do
But
that.
the bad thing is she knew the person, and she was like, "This person knows better than to have a flash."
That's when you send a friendly, well-intentioned email.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So
So user
have good content.
behavior, have good content. It seems simplistic to just bring it back to that, but it really is that simple. You need to have good content and then people are going to be more likely to engage with it.
Exactly.
So there we
Yeah,
go.
and the better content you have, the more you're going to be looked at as an authority because you're
Right.
going to start bringing those people back. Content is also what attracts natural links from other places. If you have good content, then other people will link to you. I think that's a gripe I have within the wedding industry, though.
What's that?
Nobody really links. Nobody.
Oh, I gotcha.
The
Okay.
only people that will link is obviously like the big blogging, like the Stami Pretties and and places like that want to
Right.
blog. But as far as with other vendors, it's like no one wants to link. They feel like it's a bad thing. I don't get it.
Well, and I mean, I understand the wanting to keep people on your website and not send them away, but is there, and we're not talking about adding links pages necessarily
No.
to your website, but like what would be the best way to do that?
It's basically if you're writing content and you're writing blogs, just wherever it's natural
Yeah.
to link to, and I think a lot of people automatically think, well, linking to competitors. I'm not talking about you can link to competitors if you want. I mean, we have good relationships with some of our competitors here. We actually refer business to them when we can't handle it, and you should have those relationships. But if you're writing something and you can logically link to somebody that you work with, whether it's a
Right.
caterer or a photographer or a videographer, somebody you have a good relationship with, help each other out. And here's another great. Don't
It's the
just
Shay
use
Ranch
it is.
Show.
Don't just use the brand name.
Right.
Use what they do, the keywords. If it's a videographer, make sure it's got videography in it, and the maybe. I mean, if you're friends and you want to help each other out,
Yeah.
ask the person what keywords, what anchor text do you want me to use,
Right.
and let them use it. It's going to help both of you out.
Start collaborating.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying being manipulative. Don't do that.
No.
But as long as it makes sense and is relevant, it helps both you guys out.
But if you worked on a wedding together, for example, and you're
Exactly.
featuring a wedding that you worked on in your blog, you're most likely going to be indicating the other professionals who worked on that. So
You,
there's an opportunity right there.
you are. And what they normally do is at the bottom, they'll list
Yeah.
the name of the company with a link. That's not wrong. Maybe occasionally you should mix it up and throw in
Indicate what
the
they
keyword
provided. Yeah.
exactly
Yeah.
instead of just the brand name.
So there you go.
So,
Something folks can consider introducing into their blogging efforts. So
yes,
user behavior, really, really important. Don't underestimate it. Don't just focus on getting links and so forth, but actually focus on providing a valuable experience.
exactly.
There you go. All
I
right.
think we beat that one enough.
All right. We'll wrap that one up then.
Okay,
We'll see you next time when we're going to probably talk about another SEO factor that you want to take into consideration.
cool.
See ya.
Bye.